Men of Reddit, what's something embarrassing you've always wanted to ask a woman? If bras give support, then why? Does it feel good when you take them off? Would it feel good to never wear a bra? It's like taking off a backpack after a long walk, or taking off your belt after a meal. It's okay not wearing one, but running or walking downstairs is awkward and people stare at your nipples. Plus boobs all look different, and it's easy to be self-conscious about them, if they are even slightly different to the ones on all the models. Bras fix that. What's the deal with peeing together? Safety in numbers. Also, we like to reaptly make up, or have a little gossip by ourselves. Sometimes it's just nice to go with someone else, and continue whatever conversation you were previously having. I wanna add, sometimes especially in bars, the locks are broken, or non-existent on stalls, and when you're drunk it's hard to hold the door, and do your business at the same time. And by the time the first woman mentions it, I remember that, yes, I do need to pee. What backquote the most neutral and comfortable to start a conversation, maybe at a bar, without being too shy or too aggressive/rude? For me, commenting on what's going on around us. If you've tried the drinks before and want to share opinions. If there's a game on and I'm looking up at the TV. If there's a couple on a first date nearby. Whatever. The really important thing is to get a good read on if the response is polite vs engaged. If I give you a yeah with nothing else, stop trying lol. Even if I smiled or whatever. This is the only answer I agree with. The others are too I like your hair, you're pretty etc and compliments creep me out bc. I know where that conversation is going. Talk to me like you would another man sitting at the bar. I'm a bartender. I listen all day. Don't immediately come for my looks. My boyfriend is my best friend and was before he was my boyfriend. How do many of you have such nice skin? I want to be silky smooth too. Women have about twice as much subcutaneous body fat as men and thinner skin. It makes you soft. What's the deal with armpit hair? Do we just trim it or try to shave it off? It feels weird to just let it go wild when other parts are tidied. You can trim it to keep it neat, or if you prefer to shave it, you can shave it. What is the obsession with murder? The whole serial killer book/podcast industry seems largely female oriented. Ironically, many females I know who love this stuff also hate fake violence in fictional movies. I'm taking notes so I don't make the mistakes they made that got them caught. Honestly though, it's a combination of the psychological aspect. Why did they do it? What was going on in their head? What made them the way they are? And the forensic/investigation side of things. I also know some women who watch them, in part to learn in some way how not to be the victim of crimes like those featured. How much do appearances count compared to personality when it comes to being asked out? Me and my friends always joke about how medium guys go to hot when you start liking their personality. This might mean it'll take more time to get a girl there, but just think how ugly a beautiful person becomes when you hate their personality. It works the opposite way as well. As far as I can tell, leggings are one of the most universal flexible pieces of clothing a woman can wear and still remain as casual as jeans but as comfy as PJs, yet you always manage to look hella good regardless of what top you pair with leggings. What the F do you wear with leggings? How do you always seem to pair it correctly? Correctly being it never looks like something you wouldn't pair with it. Leggings are super versatile and actually come in a bunch of different styles. I like to balance leggings, which are of course tight to the body, with looser and flowy tops or even dresses. And if I wear baggy sweats or flowy pants, I'll do a tighter top. I like that balance. How do you shampoo long hair? I've always had short hair, so lather and rinse is pretty easy, but with long hair I feel like it would get complicated quickly. With shampoo you basically get used to massaging it directly on your scalp and the rest of your hair kinda rinses out along with any dirt as you wash away the shampoo. You focus on your scalp because that's where things get greasy and you don't want the bottoms of your hair to get too dry. This is why you also focus the conditioner towards the ends of your hair. What should I do to not make you feel threatened when I walk behind you at night? Cross the street. Try not to walk fast and definitely not directly behind us. Crossing the street sounds like a safe bet in any situation. It'd also help if you took out your phone to play some game or call someone to chat. Show you're casual and not a threat. When you are really upset, How would you like your partner to respond or comfort you? Be empathetic. Hold her if she's comfortable with that. Listen and ask if she wants your advice. If she doesn't, just be a good listener and don't make her feel like she's to blame or that her feelings aren't valid. In a book or a piece of writing, what do you think is the best way to describe a woman in an embarrassing context without being too crude or cliche or getting into the whole she breasted boobily down the stairs thing? I'm a writer, but I would feel way too awkward asking any of my girlfriends this. Writing women characters isn't hard for me, Peresi. You just give them goals, development and make them add to the story like anybody else. But I'm always second guessing myself when it comes to writing stuff in an intimate context. Focus less on describing the physical attributes and more on the feeling of being in her presence. Focus on things she does consciously in the scene, or at least things that aren't gratuitously cliche, i.e. breasting boobily. When you do go for the physical description, it's always neat to see a male character's physical attraction to a female character center on less obvious things. Maybe her neck, her hands, her jawline, even her eyes would work in this context despite being somewhat stereotypical. Have heard what not to do on a date mostly, but what are the top things a guy can do on a date without coming off as awkward or weird? Your looks will count for a little more in the beginning, because I don't know you very well. But if you come across as decent, charming and confident, looks start to fade into the background. My husband is never going to win any hot guy awards. He's a bit overweight, going grey, wears glasses and has more hair on his back than on his head. But I immediately fell in love with his personality. He's everything I've ever wanted in a man on the inside, so I honestly don't care what the outside looks like. According to popular culture, girls want the bad boys and they want to fix them. How true is this? And granted that there is any truth to it, what success rate do you have? It's a thing that exists. But if a woman is over 20 and still goes for bad boys to fix them, it's a red flag on its own. It's a fun fantasy that you can tame someone who's wild and crazy, and they'll be willing to give all that up because you're just so wonderful. The reality is much harsher. Bad boys aren't going to be tamed by their love for a single person. They're either going to change because they want to, or they're going to hurt you over and over again. Hell, even if they do decide they want to change, they'll likely hurt you over and over again. It's basically a superhero fantasy where the magic power is love instead of fighting. It's a fun story, but let's face it, if you could actually be Batman or the Hulk or whoever, would you really want it? Or would you be happier in your much more stable life? It's the same idea, just a bit closer to reality than comic books. If someone respectfully confesses they have had a crush on you, but don't really expect anything out of it, how would you react? Like, okay, now what? I feel like it's better to ask someone out and see where it goes. If it's not appropriate to ask them on a date, then keep your feelings to yourself. How frustrating is it to not orgasm during intimate time? Men always get to it. Does it piss you off? Terribly. Once in a while is okay. Frustrating but not a big deal. I had a partner with whom I haven't orgasmed in 2 years. I have never been more frustrated in my life. Long term, it feels like something is missing from your life. Kinda like a very bad sneeze that never comes. And there's a psychological toll the frustration takes on you, not just the physical pleasure missing. Trust me, it's bad.